Hey, everybody. Welcome to another TV watch party here, public access TV watch party. Want to thank everyone who's already joined us. Let's see. Buttermilk Jug, Dennis Devine, Miami, Shite, and Michael Tamaro, Mask of Exile, and Amanda Lust. William Brown is in the house. Mask of Exile, Max Ice, Dennis Devine. Hi, everybody. Thanks, those of you who are returning. See a number of you are returning, and really appreciate your coming back for these time and time again. Don't forget to visit our Etsy shop if you haven't already for stuff like this. I thought that for this one, we could start off with some Channel J stuff. So Channel J was known as Leased Public Access in New York City. We covered this a little bit when William Brown was on, because William Brown actually appeared on a couple of the Channel J shows. But I thought we could focus a little bit on one of the big stars of Channel J, Al Goldstein, who we've mentioned before. Al Goldstein was the publisher of the newspaper Screw, which had a bunch of nudie pics in it and ads for escort services and adult movie theaters. And he also had this show on Channel J. So the way this would work on Channel J is that the cable system thought that they would, offer up to anybody who wanted to buy time on their system at a pretty low rate. They could just buy the time and sell ads themselves. So what happened was that a lot of adult type shows ended up buying the time and selling ads to escort services and adult theaters and the like. William Brown is pointing out in the chat that my appearances were after they were shifted to commercial use Channel 35. Yeah, William, I just wasn't going to get into that kind of detail. So it was known as Channel J, Channel 35, but basically it was this sort of leased access programming. So let's take a look, and we'll start with Midnight Blue. And here we go. Let me get this going. Why is that not? Nope. Okay, here we go.
Well, you know what I am? I'm on TWA, and I'm coach instead of a bumpy fright. And
By the way, let me just set this up. This is Al Goldstein. He would do these, someone pointed out, FU segments where he would complain about various things that were bothering him in his life. And this is one of those segments.
TWA really is a very rotten airline, and God, can you imagine if I was like a discount fare? Oh God, well, I see the stewardess coming.
Here's your sign.
Oh God, oh Lord. That's what TWA is really like, I gotta tell you. I fly them a lot because, like a schmuck, I'm a frequent flyer and I have about 400,000 miles. So I fly Luftwaffe Airlines if I got mileage. TWA stinks. They're always late. I've never been on a TWA flight where there wasn't at least one toilet, in most cases 2 or 3 toilets broken, which means more and more people are queuing up to take a shit. TWA truly is the worst line in the world. They lose your luggage. They lose passengers. I mean, they really stink. And what I want to recommend to you is what I'm doing. We're going to show you an insert. I'm taking TWA to small claims court because on a flight to London, they were so late that I wound up paying for a hotel I wasn't in because they were 12 hours late. On a flight to Florida recently, they were hours and hours late. They always have mechanical problems. TWA is the worst airline in the world. So what I ask you to do is A, through Manhattan Cable, because you're getting pictures and you're not getting stereo on Channel 2 and Channel 7. And while you're down there, just for the hell of it, sue TWA. If you send me a copy of it, I'll even reimburse you for the small claims action. I want to see TWA in court every night for the next year. So TWA, and you're right. Hi, this is Al Goldstein from Midnight Blue. Listen, do me a favor. I've complained often about these companies that leave the menus outside my house, dirty the front of my home. It's getting to the point of such escalation that these people who hand out the menus are making New York City dirtier than even the people who don't scoop up doors. The worst one was Szechuan Palace. Not only was one menu left scattered in front of my house, but 12. So I ask you as a favor, please, do me a favor. Seriously. Take just 20 seconds from your time. Do Al Goldstein a favor. You're not paying to see Midnight Blue. Yeah, you're paying Manhattan Cable. I'm not seeing any of that money. Call this number. Call this number and say, from Al Goldstein, go f*** yourself. Quit littering up 61st Street. Please, just take a few seconds of your time. I mean, don't be so irresponsible. I need your help. Let's get back at Szechuan Palace, and please, call now, tomorrow, as often as you can. If you see me in public and say you like Midnight Blue, it don't mean shit. Make a phone call to these people. Tell them to go f*** themselves. Thank you.
That's right. Call 628-8652 or 628-8706 and tell them Al sent you. Stay tuned for more Midnight Blue after this. Hi, this is Rich.
So this is one of the many ads that would appear on the show. By the way, William Brown is pointing out that it appeared that the cameras being used on Al Goldstein's Midnight Blue were the Sharp XC700s. For those who wanted to know that information, William was kind enough to share that with us. By the way, Al Goldstein died in 2013 at 77 years old. And he died pretty much penniless. He had started this Screw newspaper in 1968 and had a lot of success, and eventually did this TV show as well. And he had 6 homes at one point and had a chauffeur-driven limousine. But in the end, he had a stroke, diabetes, dementia. He ended up essentially homeless toward the end and died in a nursing home in Brooklyn. But this was from the glory days. He did this show from 1974 as late as 2003. It ran. So anyway, this is one of the ads that I'm able to show. By the way, you're hearing some of the profanities edited out. Obviously, the profanity was rampant on this show. That was just part of it. Most of the ads for escorts had nude escorts in the ads, so I can't show any of this because of YouTube just doesn't care for that kind of stuff. So, but this is an ad we can show. So let's keep going.
Manhattan Video, and we have the largest selection of first-class adult video in the entire city. Manhattan Video at 60 West 39th Street with nearly 3,000 titles, from amateur to oriental, couples to bisexual. We have the widest variety, guaranteed to satisfy any taste. And we're open 6 days a week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays, and 9 to 5 on Saturdays. Manhattan Video for the very best in quality adult video.
Today we have, relatively speaking, the classy afternoon. We have a sort of legendary musical figure from the 60s who broke through with a tremendous publicity gallop, Tiny Tim. Tiny, it's a rather odd meeting. We almost have to quit meeting like this. You're considered to be a tasteful, very religious person. So the first question is, why are you here with me on Midnight Blue?
Well, first of all, Mr. Goldstein, it's a pleasure being on your show.
Thank you, Tim.
And, well, first of all, I was asked. Secondly, I'm the biggest sinner in the world.
Really good.
And when I say this, I don't say it just for false modesty. I mean it. The good Lord, you know, my mother was Jewish, my father was Catholic. I just believe in Jesus Christ as the answer to life. And I believe that the world, everyone is full of error in this world, whether you're living in conservative suburbia, whether you're down in the village. From nature, since the fall of the Garden of Eden, man has been in error since that time. No matter what kind of suit or clothes or whatever you wear, the heart is evil. There are people who go to religious institutions every day and commit adulteries at night and decry those who, you know, have papers or Playboy magazines, and they say, get them off the air. They become judges. The world is full of error. And so it's a pleasure for me to be on this show, as it would be the Mr. Carson show.
Have you ever masturbated?
Unfortunately, yes.
And was it something that filled you with pleasure or shame?
Shame entirely. Because I really believe this. I believe that when that's happened, it still, I felt bad because it's an act that was reserved only for marriage. I've asked the Lord for strength and never to do it again. And if I did it again, I would never stop until I quit. And you never give up. The same with the diet. No matter, I used to be heavy and way heavier, and I'd never stop. I'd say never again. And then I had a big pizza meal. But I said I'd never stop saying never as long as I keep knocking positive thinking in, and never quit until you overcome yourself and get onto that diet. And the same thing when I did those things with myself, I never said it was right. I still believe it was wrong, except that I was weak and tempted. And I just asked the Lord for strength to overcome these things. And he gave it to me.
Do you have any recollection of what a woman tastes like?
No, I really don't. Because most of the time it was covered with honey or peanut butter.
That's getting me hungry, that part.
And so the honey and peanut butter was just, you know, covering whatever taste there might be. So I can't say that I've had any taste. But, you know, I was only concerned of giving her pleasure. And once that 3-hour limit was up, if she wanted to do the same, fine. If not, well, it was fine, okay with me. It didn't bother her if it never happened to me. I've always told them, I don't want you to touch me, when the night first began. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you to disturb me, because I don't want to release myself, because I'm only here to give you pleasure for at least 3 hours, because once I was released, I'd be as weak as water. Okay. And then she said, all right, this is one example of one girl. And then I would first start not only by undressing her slowly, but also of smoothing her body with baby lotion or some body cream before the shower. And then, of course, it will be washed off again in the shower. Now, as I was aroused, I still told her, don't touch me, whatever you do. Now, I had a clock there, so I would at least make sure it took at least 3 hours. And basically, you know, after the shower was over and we, you know, lie down on the bed at one time, I was still aroused, and she was wondering what the heck was going on, because I was doing everything to her without penetration.
You went down on her, in other words.
That was afterwards, but during the shower, I was just massaging her in the shower all over, with the knees as well as the hands.
Right.
And also, after the shower, when we lied in bed, I still told her not to touch me, and then I would take out the ukulele and then play a few numbers.
So that's Tiny Tim. Yeah, it seems some of you are puzzled, like, what was Tiny Tim doing on Midnight Blue on this adult show? Tiny was unpredictable. Someone had pointed out in the chat that, you know, he had appeared on Howard Stern and stormed off because Stern had said Jesus Christ. And, you know, Tiny was unpredictable, and he showed up on Midnight Blue. Midnight Blue had some really interesting interviews. Not only Tiny Tim, but Penn Jillette was on there, Gilbert Gottfried, R. Crumb did an interview there, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It just, you never knew what you were going to see on this Midnight Blue show. It was interviews like that, but then there would also be, you know, old nudie movies. They would show what were believed to be celebrity gotcha private sex tapes, and it just was always a potpourri of stuff on this show. It also, Oliver Jabroni is asking, was this pay-per-view? No, Oliver, if you're just joining, basically this was called Leased Access on Manhattan Cable, and Al Goldstein would buy the time from the cable system and then sell advertising to phone services, escort services, adult movie theaters. What we have on the screen here is another one of the ads. So let's keep going. And we're watching Midnight Blue, Al Goldstein's Midnight Blue.
Mistress Erin, I'm waiting for all submissive slaves to call me at 970-MISS. Call 970-MISS now for the hottest live phone dominance in New York. That's 970-6477. 970-MISS. Do it now.
Okay, and here is another interview with another Beyond Vaudeville favorite. This, as you can see on the screen, is Grandpa Munster Al Lewis. So we're going to get to see this interview that was on Midnight Blue. This was in 1989. Al Lewis had just returned to New York about 3 years before this, and we were very fortunate at Beyond Vaudeville to meet him early in his return from many years in Los Angeles and living in New York. He ended up doing our show Beyond Vaudeville in 1987. And we did a live show with him also in 87. And this was 2 years after that, where he appeared on Midnight Blue. So here we go.
Steve, tell the audience what you were saying.
Let me tell you something. I back in New York for 3 years. I was living on the West Coast. I had to because I'm making a living there. Living there for 25 years. I've been back in New York for 3. And obviously, I watch very little television, and I like people who are trying to do something. You don't always succeed, but hey, I love the effort. You know what I mean?
What was the quality in the show that has given it this kind of tenacity on the public's consciousness?
Yes,
What about it?
I never thought about it. I never saw the show. But in the last 3-4 years, I've been asked that question 100 times, and so I had to re-see it in my head. It was a corny family show of people who cared for each other. We liked each other and worked for the show. That was a big asset, a tremendous asset, tremendous asset. You very rarely get that on TV because it wasn't, I don't know, I've worked 500 TV shows, some bitch is making $400 more than I am. Some bitch, I can't even do it. He didn't know how to walk through the door. They should have given me that fucking spot, Then the guy's got to come and say, oh, I love you. Well, obviously, you're not going to get that. This is very common, very common. The greed involved, the jealousy, the ego. There wasn't that, I can promise you there wasn't that, because I was the benevolent dictator on the show. And what I said went with Fred, with Yvonne, with the girl, and with Butch. And I come from a different background. Although I consider myself a performer, I came from, there's no, don't tell me how great you are on the trapeze. Get your ass up there. Don't bullshit me and tell me how great you are in Lime, Ohio. Let me see what you can do. And man, I killed him, man. When I played, are you kidding me? Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, I was so funny and this. I weren't there, okay. Maybe you were, you weren't, right? Get up on the trapeze. Get in with those cats. I'll see if you can cut it. So I come from a different, I can't be shit.
But you see, what you're saying is so profound. Just give me the camera a second. You see, it's you out there who, when you see me and say, oh, I go in a restaurant, I hear that's Al Goldstein, or are you the Al Goldstein? I get it maybe, I've had it maybe several hundred times. Al has had it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, because he's bigger than life. I'm cable, he's been on network television. But what you do out there is really, and I want to give you this moment of truth, is you think we have answers you don't have You think we don't wipe our asses, that we don't have pain. You think we're really the characters you see on the screen. We're no better than you are. I'm a licensed cab driver. I renew my hack license every year because I figure I'm going to be driving that cab again. I have the pain, the fear, the sadness, the alienation. I think it is to a large degree. I think it's being Jewish, the shrinks I go to being pasted together. But it's your need for me to be better, for Al to be better, for this famous guy who's bisexual to be, your need of people bigger than life.
And it's their projection.
It's your projection. You need us, you see, you need us to be better than you in the hope that everyone can be better. And we're all doomed to failure. JFK fucked Marilyn Monroe. Ed Koch, whatever he's doing, he's doing. It's not Ed Koch's failure or JFK's failure. It's not Quayle's failure. It's not Al Lewis's failure or Al Goldstein's. You think we have it knocked. We have answers you don't have. There are no answers. The cliche is there are only questions. But enough philosophizing. Two Jews together are always going to do that.
Oh boy.
Okay, you've been in show business all your life.
66 years.
Okay, 60. It's amazing. You're in great shape. You have a young girlfriend. When did you first get laid? Tell us about the experience.
I first got laid in Dayton, Ohio.
No one gets laid in Dayton, Ohio. You were the only one.
As a matter of fact, I think they put up a stone.
Okay, what happened? Did you bring the girl with you?
No, it was what we called. Would you believe it or not? I coined the phrase. This is Emmis, a CF. It later caught on a celebrity fucker. A CF. Right. I was the one who coined it.
Funny.
And somebody became enamored of an acteur. And that was my first. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. I don't know if you went through this here, because you've been Jewish, but not as long as I have.
Okay, true.
Right.
You're the only man I know who's older than me. Thank you, Al.
No. Did you ever have this fantasy, like when you went through puberty and then you were kind of swinging around 19, 20, 21, 22, and you came from a Jewish neighborhood like I did? I came from the largest Jewish ghetto in America, Brownsville.
I was Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, all right. That you wanted to do it with a goyish shirt.
Always a goyish shirt.
No, wait, let me give you the position. Let me give you the position.
She's blonde, all right? She a blonde girl?
I don't care. In front of a mirror, she's facing the mirror, you're in back of her, and you can watch her face. Did you ever have that fantasy?
No, I was in front of her because I was looking at my face. I wanted my face bigger than her face.
No. I wanted, as I went in through the I wanted to look at her face while I was holding her hair up to the mirror. You never had that fantasy?
No, not that one. That's a nice one.
And then after 39 and 40 and 41 and 42, then I had a rational reason for doing it. You know what I mean? Then I had to get even for what they did over there.
Yeah, so we're listening to Grandpa Al Lewis talking about his sex life, which, you would only get here on Midnight Blue. If you're joining us late, we are looking at Midnight Blue, which was a show hosted by Al Goldstein, publisher of Screw newspaper in New York. And someone had asked in chat about John Walsh, Joey the Monkey, working at Midnight Blue. And that's true. He did for a while. He did voiceover work on Midnight Blue and had worked for Al Goldstein. He said it was not easy working for Al Goldstein. Al Goldstein was boorish, to say the least. Always smoking his cigars, didn't really care about anybody or anything. He was gluttonous. He would just brag about how much he could eat. He would get bigger and bigger as time went on, although in the end he had shrunken down to a sort of a withered person. By the way, I want to thank... I didn't mention the super chat, but I see two of you have already contributed, and thank you for that. Christopher Romas and Heroin Mom saying these watch parties are as addictive as heroin. Well, I guess that's okay as long as everyone is enjoying it, a heroin mom. So thank you both for participating in the super chat, which goes toward digitizing all these many tapes from my vast collection of tapes. So let's go back to watching Al Goldstein's Midnight Blue with another Al Grandpa Munster Lewis.
Question for you. As you get older, are you becoming more Jewish, more connected to your religion?
No,
Interesting. Why?
no. I don't know why. Although I'm a yeshiva bocher. I went to Chaim Berlin, which is the Einstein of yeshivas in New York. No, I have always been a kind of Thoreau, Tolstoy, Einstein, Whitman, Mark Twain, agnostic, always. I love, like Al says, I love questions better than I do answers.
Yeah.
Because it used to be the joke, when you went to a yeshiva, we all used to do this here. And what did it mean? We do it to each other. It meant somebody would make a statement, and I'm going to intone it like in Yiddish. And what do you question everything. Everything. That's Jewish tradition. That's Jewish tradition. You question everything. Somebody says to you, Donald Trump is a benevolent and people are ice skating in Central Park. All right, whatever. That's what you say. I have to, it's like in Yiddish they used to say, kriegt euch wie de Fiesboxen. In other words, you want to know what really is. That the watch works is not enough. You got to take it apart and see what makes it work. I got to find out what's buried underneath the ice in Central Park. Who knows? Maybe he stashed something away there. I don't know. How much money?
It's a Jewish quest, isn't it?
I mean, no. If you've got to question and mostly about yourself. You don't need me now. I'm telling you, you don't. You know something? My popularity is due to their inadequacy.
Yeah, it's true. Their need for you.
That's right.
They need you.
Of course.
Which is the basis of religion.
Of course.
Yeah.
You need a God.
You need something stronger.
You need Falwell. You need Baker. Right. Whatever. You know.
And that's really it, isn't it? Think of Baker, Dick, Jessica Hahn. Think of Jimmy Swaggart. Your need was that these people were better than any human can be. Why did you have that fucking need?
They weren't. You made them better.
Yeah.
They made them better.
Yeah.
See, Baker never said, one thing I like, or the Baker, or the Swaggart, or whoever, it doesn't matter. We can go back to Pliny, you know, in the Greek age, doesn't matter who. They never said they were better. You see, this is marvelous about the human mind. They just say, and they occupy a position, and you people throw all the attributes on top of them, until finally the cloak is solid gold. Yeah. They don't come onto the scene with a cloak of solid gold.
Right.
You did it.
It's absolutely true.
If people say to me, you know, Al, you're a celebrity, you're famous, you're a star, you're a living legend. I say, you know something? Only in your mind.
Absolutely.
Me, I'm an ordinary guy. That's all I am. That's all I am. I'm no better than Al Goldstein or Steve or the guy.
Well, better than Steve was easy.
No.
That old Jackie Mason there.
Right. No, I'm serious, because we happen to have chosen a profession where through the luck of the dice, talent, or any combination that you could think of, we became prominent. And once you become prominent, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. I could go in the street, in the Polo Lounge in Beverly Hills. Godzilla Pete and I don't go there, but let's say I went there. And I could go in with a pair of pants that had holes, that everything was sticking out. Because of who I am, Boy, that Al Lewis, he is terrific, boy. God, look at that. Do you believe that? That is so original and everything.
Okay.
Another schmuck walks in, he gets arrested, 900 years in jail.
Right, it's true. It's true.
Am I wrong?
The truth is, 23 years ago, I was on welfare for a year and a half. And I remember I was just considered madman. Now, because of Screw and 20 years of prominence, quote, I'm considered eccentric, unconventional, a maverick. All bullshit, because, again, you were reading things. You figured we must be doing something right. So we fooled you. Last question.
We'll be back with the concluding part of Al Goldstein's interview with Al Lewis right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Last question. Who do you like today of the comedians? I like George Carlin, and Pryor is not so new. Who do you like of the new people?
I like George Carlin better earlier than now. George is a very wealthy man, very talented, and wants to remain wealthier, so he plays it safe. I laugh at things that George does. I laugh at things that Jackie Mason does. And I'll tell you a guy who I laugh at, because he reminds me of the greats in vaudeville. I laugh at, he doesn't work that much because certain personal things. Jonathan Winters.
All right, yeah.
Does all kinds of mashugana things.
Brilliant.
And very creative, quick mind. I love him.
Robin Williams, what about him?
Robin Williams is, to me, like, when he's funny, he's spectacular. When he's not, Steve, you laugh like he's a sweat act. That's what we used to call a sweat act. He works hard, and all that comes out is sweat. But he's a very creative guy. Very creative guy. Very creative. See, it's funny. I'm the wrong person to ask these questions because I'm not. How do you split this down the middle? I don't know how you do it. I'm not an admirer of the person because I have worked with people and they're famous and they're good and they get the applause, but when you get to know them, they're son of a bitches. So I admire their talent. I don't admire the person. It's hard for me to split it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Well, I don't know if you've known enough people, you know what I mean, where you've gotten, you meet famous people, obviously, but then if you get to really know them, you work with them, you say, this son of a bitch is an anti-Semite.
Yeah, Robin's not a nice guy. We met him.
No, I'm not talking about him, but so I hate to, like Patty said, you shattered all my illusions. So I don't go around and saying, you know, so-and-so, the worst son of a... No. Well, you got that person that I see on television. Oh, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it.
Yeah. Well, you see, you know the realities. Patty couldn't believe, in the year we've known each other,
the man who manufactures automobiles.
People will assume that I'm into getting laid. People would be amazed how, for me, the big thing is watching Ted Koppel. I just got back from Barbados. I only go to a hotel that had cable network news and CBS. I go watch 60 Minutes. I'm a news junkie. But people assumed I went because I'm involved with Midnight Blue and Screw from pussy to pussy. I am boring.
And 17 native girls down there.
I tell Patty all the time, you're going to be disappointed. I'm very boring. But that's because I'm real.
No, but you're not boring. You're not boring. You're boring if you accept their standards.
Exactly.
They think, let me tell you something. I know it sure as shit. Remember that old phrase, sure as shit, Steve? The audience thinks you're in a different club 7 nights a week. Now listen to me. You don't, even though you have a girlfriend, and even though you got engaged, you're never with less than 2 or 3 different women a night.
Right.
They expect that. What are you talking about? This is the man, the king of whatever they want to call him, erotica, porn. Why would this guy be reading the Bible to his girlfriend in the hotel room?
Well, it's dirty.
That's their image.
Yeah, right, of course.
No, but that's...
But you're right.
That's their image.
You too, they think comedians are telling jokes to each other.
Oh, of course.
You're funny.
Right.
Wow, make me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't go to comedy
I got a
shows.
terrible pain. Make me laugh. Yeah.
I get naked then. Listen, we're going to do a rap. I want to thank you. You're not supposed to be all real. I'm not going to hug you with the LA Bear hug. Best interview. You're the most interesting, articulate, a man who thinks, a man whose whole past is tied up in what you see now. A man who's lived a life fully, a man who can think. Al, thank you very much. You're great.
My pleasure.
So if you're just tuning in, we are watching Midnight Blue from Public Access. This was in 1989 with Al Lewis being interviewed by Al Goldstein. Somebody mentioned in chat that these Als love to hear themselves talk. I thought it might be interesting to watch this just because, Al Lewis was one of the more popular guests that we had on Beyond Vaudeville. So you kind of saw Al in that context. And maybe, of course, you've seen him on The Munsters and Car 54, Where Are You? And even on Howard Stern, he was always very much on, but this was sort of a different glimpse into Al Lewis. Lisa Sante mentions in chat that Al was on Buffalo, New York local shows a lot. Wasn't he running for mayor or something? Yes, Lisa, he was running for office. I think it was it mayor? It might have been mayor. I know he was active with the Green Party. His mother had been active with communist groups, like going way back early in New York's history. I know he told me that as a child, he would go to Union Square Park where they would have May Day rallies. He ended up late in life doing a radio show on WBAI, which was sort of this left wing private radio station in New York, and he had a show on there. William Brown also pointing out that Al Lewis had a restaurant in the Village. That's correct. It was called Grandpa's Bella Gente restaurant. It was an Italian restaurant on Bleecker Street. And Al Lewis, I lived near there for many years, and Al Lewis would always be out front with one of his anisette cigars, greeting people. It had long been rumored that Al Lewis, who knows, the place is no longer there, but the rumors were that there were connections to the mob, and that Al was beholden to them for some reason or another. Who knows? But it did happen over early morning. There was what appeared to be a mob hit right outside the restaurant. A guy was found dead in his car, shot, parked right in front of the restaurant. So anyway, so if you're just tuning in, that is what we are looking at. Let me just catch up on comments here. Mark Thorner says Al had a comedy club in Staten. Correct. Let's see, Skyscraper Television saying Al was a member of the Green Party. Yes. Okay. And the Echomancer says I'd kill to go back in time and try the spaghetti there. Echomancer, you weren't missing much. The food wasn't that great. But you would get to meet Al Lewis. He would greet customers and joke with them, and so there was that bonus. Okay, so we again are looking at Channel J programming, and we just have a little more to go here. Let's see what we got next.
Really?
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
And his dick is probably 6 pennies long.
Is that a nickel in the penny?
Oh.
Okay, this is just a brief glimpse of the Robin Bird Show. Basically, this channel, again, these were people that were buying the time and then selling ads to phone sex lines and escort services. This is the end of an episode of the Robin Bird Show. Robin Bird basically would have strippers that would do their act. If they were in town, they would come on the show and they would do their strip act with nudity, which obviously we're not going to show here. But this was the ending of the show, and I just thought this clip was interesting because there's another Beyond Vaudeville personality here, and that's Danny the Wonder Pony. So let's take a look at this with Robin Bird singing her theme song, Baby, Let Me Bang Your Box.
Everyone in the neighborhood, I never played one that felt so good. I got a shuffle, a backbeat, a boogie woogie too, but when I play a jelly roll, you won't know what to do. Oh, baby, let me bang your box. Baby, let me bang your box. Baby, let me play your baby. We're gonna play till all our clocks. Bang, bang, bang. She's right there. Yeah, in the middle. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, you got to hit her. Baby, bang my box. Bang, bang, bang. Baby, bang my box. Baby, bang my breast. Bang, bang, bang in the middle. Bang, bang, bang in the middle. Right there, baby. Right there. In the middle. All right, baby. You got the rhythm now.
So, Robin Bird had her show on Leased Access in New York. Al Goldstein's Midnight Blue that we were looking at. There was a show for gays called Men in Films that had like adult male film stars. There was Ugly George, who you might have heard about. Ugly George was a guy that would go around Manhattan and try to convince women to go into an alley and take off their tops, and he would record them and put them on the show. And women actually did it remarkably. And there was another show, Interludes After Midnight, which was a talk show where all the guests were naked. So they'd be sitting in their chairs, just naked, talking to one another. Saturday Night Live actually did a parody of that show. The host of that show was Dan Landers, and they did a parody where John Lovitz played that role. We're going to end this section here about Channel J with one of the more memorable ads that would run on these shows. And this was Escort Steve.
Feet 3 inches tall, 195 pounds. I cater to women, couples, and men. I'm very well hung, 9.5 inches. I'm available 24 hours a day on an hourly basis. My phone number is 481-3542. I'm looking for...
And that was it. It got cut off there, but his final line was, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So that was just a glimpse into the remarkable Channel J, Channel 35 in New York, Leased public access. William Brown pointing out that Robin Bird's show was taped in the same second floor studio where Beyond Vaudeville shot many shows. And that is true, William Brown. It was always a little strange going into that studio and realizing that that blue rug that we were had various strippers over the years kind of rubbing them against that rug. Anyway, I want to thank everyone who has participated so far in the Super Chat. It's much appreciated. Your contributions go toward the digitizing of all these tapes. So thank you to Christopher Romas. Thanks, Heroin Mom. Thanks, Chris Henderson. And thanks to Rick Cutler. Really appreciate all the support and appreciate everyone else who's here as well for continuing to join us. Rick Cutler is saying, keep on keeping on, Rich. Will do, Rick. You do the same. And let's see, what other comments do we have here? Mel Brewer says Sherry O'Terry played her on SNL. That's correct, Mel Brewer. Sherry O'Terry played Robin Bird, that clip that we were just watching. And William Brown is saying, didn't John Lovitz at one time play Al Goldstein on SNL? There was a portrayal of Al Goldstein on SNL, William Brown, but that was actually, I believe, Danny DeVito playing Al Goldstein, who we were watching earlier. And let's see, I just want to make sure I'm getting to everything. Adam Droid is saying, so Filthy Smut was filmed in the same chapel of entertainment as Beyond Vaudeville. Yes, I guess you could say that. What else do we have here? Oh boy, I got a lot of catching up to do. Toto Payne Diaz says that they saw Ugly George once. Toto Payne, I actually had met Ugly George once. There would be these TV Academy lunches in Manhattan at the old Copacabana, and I remember being at a table, and there were it was like a buffet style. They would do these weekly lunches, and it tended to be like a lot of old timers from the early TV days. It was kind of a shadow of, I'm sure, whatever this gathering had once been. So anyway, I sit down at a table for 8, and some other people sit down, and there comes Ugly George, and he has his plate, and he puts it on the table, and he kind of puts his arm around the plate with his terrible manners, and he's kind of shoveling the food into his mouth. And with that, a woman from the TV Academy, she was working around to each table, and she would come and say hi to everyone, and she would, go up to everybody individually just to welcome them. And she got to Ugly George, and I was dreading what was going to come of this exchange. And she said, "Hi, I'm so and so," and Ugly George looked up from his food, and he said, "So?" And it was very uncomfortable. Anyway, let's see what else we've got here. Cale Jones is saying, did you ever see that wild McDonald's ad? Yeah, there was a McDonald's ad with Grandpa Munster, Gilligan, Jed Clampett, and a few other guests munching burgers together. Yeah, I have seen that, Cale, and not too long ago, so it must be on YouTube or somewhere. Let's see. All right. I guess I think we're all caught up on the chat. There's still a lot going on here. Actually, Toto Payne Diaz has contributed to the super chat, so I appreciate that, Toto Payne Diaz, and your continued support of the series in general, and returning here. I know you've come in here many times, and appreciate your coming. So thank you to everyone so far in the super chat: Christopher Romas, Heroin Mom, Chris Henderson, Rick Cutler, and Toto Payne Diaz. Okay, so I have some additional Frank Masi material. We've looked at some of Frank's stuff from Stairway to Stardom, but there are multitudinous clips from Stairway to Stardom. Thanks very much to the work of Mitch Friedman, who had convinced Frank to let him digitize all his material. But I was also recording Stairway to Stardom off TV for many years. Stairway to Stardom was a talent show that ran from 1979 to the early 1990s with host Frank Masi. And we've watched some of this before, and you seem to have enjoyed it. So I thought we'd watch some more clips that we hadn't seen. So let's go now. Michael Tamaro is saying, Frank has grown on me. He came from a different time. All right, Michael, I'm glad that you've come to appreciate Frank Masi and his Stairway to Stardom. Let's take a look at some of that now.
beautiful, beautiful. Tell me, how long have you been dancing, Clover?
Well, I started when I was 2. I'm 13 now. It's 11 years.
11 years. Boy, she's right out of the cradle, huh? Do you intend to pursue this career?
Yes.
It's a rough climb, you know, stairway to stardom. It could be rough sometimes. Well, all I got to say is lots of good luck, okay?
Thank
May I have
you.
a kiss? Okay, bye now. Lola Brazo, everybody.
By the way, we're watching Stairway to Stardom, and this was a talent show that ran for many years in New York, and this was the host, Frank Masi, doing one of his many numbers that he did on the show.
I tell you guys, it's tough to be alone. And it's tough to love a doll that's not your own. I'm through with all of them. I'll never fall again. Hey guys, what you gonna do? I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own. A doll that other fellows cannot steal. And when the flirty, flirty guys with their flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real life girl. Willie Mack on tenor sax. That's Lou Murphy on trumpet. Oh, look here. Okay, Hal, go ahead. Give it. Hal Green on drums. All right, yeah. Connie Vincent on bass, come up. Go, Connie. All right. And that's Jerry King on the keys.
By the way, we are watching Frank Masi's Stairway to Stardom. This is Jerry King, who was Arthur Grundig's regular piano player on the Arthur Grundig show, which was another public access show we've watched before. both Jerry King and Frank Masi were on our Beyond Vaudeville Public Access Award show that is on the YouTube channel. We also were seeing the drummer Hal Green, who showed up, I think, at least twice on Beyond Vaudeville. One time wearing a rug and another time not. Anyway, let's go back to Frank Masi.
When I come home at night, she'll be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all this world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded real-life girl. Yeah! They're called the Obsessions. Thank you very much.
If you knew.
Okay, this is Joey Marlowe, who also was a guest on Beyond Vaudeville. And here he is performing on Stairway to Stardom. Juno Roxas, or is it Rojas, is joining us and saying good morning. Juno, I'm guessing you are somewhere else in the world. I can't make out what that tiny flag is. Let us know where you are. But here we go. This is the great late Joey Marlowe.
Susie, like I know Susie. Oh, 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 what a gal. There's none so classy like that fair lassie. Oh, oh, goodness me, what a chassis. We went riding, but she didn't balk. Home from Yonkers, I'm the one who had to walk. If you knew Susie, like I know Susie. Oh, oh, what a gal. Hey, Frank.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Frank, if you want to lose weight, that's what you got to do.
Oh, nice.
That's how you stay. That's the way you stay slender, Tilly.
Old Man River, that old man River, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling. He keeps on rolling along. He don't plant taters, and he don't plant cotton, and them that plants them is soon forgotten. But old man River, he just keeps rolling along. You and me, we sweat and strain, body all aching. Thank you.
This is BJ the Messenger doing the song Crackhead. So again, this is from Stairway to Stardom. So let's watch BJ the Messenger.
Crackhead to crackhead, you still haven't changed. You're still messing with the stuff that eats up your brain. Used to worry about the looks when you looked alright, but what you should have been worried about is your life. Crackhead to crackhead, you really look a mess with your free base and buff stinking mule train breath. Now did you ever wake up, your face stuck to the pillow? Did your mama ever call you an ugly gorilla? You're a crackhead. Tell them again, EJ. Crackhead. Leave it alone. For Jackhead to crackhead, you know that you're wrong, cause I can smell your body odor over the telephone. Now with your peanut head, you never be the best until you get your butt together, then you'll pass the test. For a nickel and a dime, you commit a crime, but when the judge throws the book, can you stand the time? Push a man on the corner there selling death. You better stop your way of living and help yourself. This growing order youth each and every day. You ought to toss your butt in jail and throw the key away. You're a crackhead. No lie. Tell them again, EJ, what are they? Crackhead. Leave it alone. Crackhead. You used to be an A student trooper in your school, but now you're standing on the corner acting like a fool, smoking crack all day, wasting your life away. You better stop and listen to my heavy rap today. Listen, life is too sweet, why throw it away for a $20 high when you get your pay? Now, hey, brothers and sisters, have you lost your head? If you keep smoking crack, you're gonna end up dead. You're a crackhead. EJ, tell them one more time. Crackhead. Leave it alone. Crackhead. From jackhead to crackhead, you still haven't changed. You still mess with the stuff that drives you insane. For many years ago, it was LSD. Now when you walked around bugging in society, now the times have passed. You still high as a kite, but instead of LSD, now you're smoking a pipe. You're a crackhead. They heard you. Tell them again now. Crackhead. Leave it alone. You're a crackhead. All right, check this out, homeboy. What's the matter with you, fool? Tell me, have you learned that when you mess with the fire, your butt gets burned? Young people in the world, when the pusher man comes, just tell him to go and give his mama some. You're a crackhead. One more time, EJ. Crackhead. I don't think they heard you, EJ. Tell them again. Crackhead. One more time, you're a crackhead. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Yeah, that was BJ the Messenger. Juno, I see you're from out in Melbourne. Thanks for checking in. Nice to have someone here from Australia pointing out the lyrics. Leave it alone. And Amanda Lust catching those lyrics as well. I don't think Frank Masi ever covered Crackhead, not that I've ever seen. But here we have Frank Masi. Doing it back to the stage, the great, late Stairway to Stardom host, Frank Masi.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave do not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only me be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we've got another number here from Frank Masi. Just want to say hello to Eric Cantona, checking in from England. Adam Droid, also checking in from England in Birmingham. And Alex Campbell checking in from Scotland. Wow, that's awesome. Really great to see people from all over the world in here. William Brown is pointing out, someone had mentioned that, I think Toto had mentioned that the piano was out of tune on that number. William Brown was saying it was a tack piano. No Steinway or Baldwin would sound like that. Anyway, here we go. Some more Frank Masi from Stairway to Stardom.
You know, every time I fall in love, I get in trouble. Real trouble. I've tried everything. Psychiatrist, voodoo, goat's milk. I even tried standing on my head, but nothing seems to help. Then one day a friend told me about this hypnotist. And he fixed it so that every time I saw a pretty girl and I started to fall in love, a certain song would run in my brain. And it goes something like this. What do you get when you fall in love? A girl with a pin to burst your bubble. That's what you get for all your trouble. I'll never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. Look at there. Isn't she pretty? Oh, she wiggles so nice. What do you get when you kiss a girl? You get enough germs to catch pneumonia. After you do, she'll never phone you. I'll never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. And then a pretty girl comes by, and I look her straight in the eye, and I say to her, you make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. You and I are just like a couple of tots running across the meadow, picking up lots of forget-me-not. Ah, there's that song again, and just in time, too. She sure looked good to me. But you know, life really don't mean much if you don't have love. Fly me to the moon and let me sit among the stars. And let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. And let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
Yeah, Frank Masi, the late Frank Masi, host of Stairway to Stardom, doing a medley of songs there. If you're just tuning in, we were watching some of the programs from Channel J, which was Leased public access in New York. We were just watching clips of Stairway to Stardom with host Frank Masi. And I thought now I would show you the 1988 Public and Leased Access Cable Awards. So the cable system at the time, Paragon, decided they were going to do an award show for the public access shows. And Beyond Vaudeville had only been doing shows for 2 years, and when this came up, and we got nominated, but no one knew who was going to win. So a bunch of the public access hosts showed up in the audience for this live telecast. I presume this is extremely rare because it just aired once on the public access system. I can't imagine anyone was recording this other than those of us who were nominated for awards. When you see that the Beyond Vaudeville was named the award-winning Beyond Vaudeville show on our opening credits, it was thanks to this award. So let's take a look at the 1988 PAL Awards, that's Public and Leased Access Awards, from 1988 with host Joe Franklin.
Thank you.
By the way, you can see the woman in the right there is putting makeup on. I guess she knew this was going to be a big moment on camera.
Thank you. I just want to say again, good evening, and a good evening it will be. This is the first ever, and certainly the beginning of many, many, I'm sure, Paragon Cable Manhattan's PAL Awards. How do you feel about the evening, the ceremony, the ambiance? Let's hear what's...
Okay, we're going to see a lot of public access stars here. The two guys on the right hosted a show called Tend to Offend. It was one of many shows that would try to push the envelope and do offensive things on the show and show offensive clips from gore movies and that kind of thing. And then to their left, we can see Arthur Grundig there, who we've watched before. And I still have plenty of clips of Arthur Grundig, who hosted his own singing talk show. And the guy next to him was a guest that we saw once before on one of these clips with Arthur Grundig. He was one of the Ink Spots. You know, the Ink Spots obviously were very big in the 1940s, I think, as a singing group. And in the subsequent years, there were numerous people that said they were members of the Ink Spots. It broke off into multiple Ink Spots, and this guy next to Arthur Grundig, his friend, was one of those many Ink Spots over the years. I hope I don't interrupt too much here, but there's going to be just so much going on with all these public access personalities here. Dirk Vandenberg, I want to thank you for participating in the Super Chat. It looks like you are checking in from New Zealand, which is awesome. Hello to you. And thanks to everyone else who has participated in the Super Chat. Christopher Romas, Heroin Mom, Chris Henderson, Rick Cutler, and Toto Payne Diaz. Thank you all for your contributions to the Super Chat to help with the digitizing of all this material. Okay, let's go back to the 1988 Public and Leased Access Cable Awards live with host Joe Franklin.
For the ambiance. I'll just make it very official that the Public and Leased Access Awards were created to honor dedicated independent producers and to encourage diverse and quality programming, and we'll be announcing the categories and the nominees in about a moment. I just want to take one moment for a personal reaction, and this is, you got to believe me, very sincere. There's no place I'd rather be than with you tonight in the studio and in hundreds of thousands of homes all over the countryside, because this particular week, I personally celebrate 35 consecutive years in TV. So thank you, thank you. So I didn't mean it for applause, but I just wanted to say that makes it a very exciting day, an exciting event for me. This week I'm being written about, I'm being wined and dined and honored, and you know, because of the 35 years, and I got the final accolade of fame. I walked in here a few minutes ago, a lady says to me, "How are you, Dr. Meltzer?" So I gave her a T-shirt. I don't have any T-shirt now. But I do feel very, very honored and excited, because if anybody in the world feels good about young people, it's got to be me, because I gave the first exposure ever on TV. Nobody discovers anybody, but I gave the first exposure ever on TV to people like Barbara Streisand, Flip Wilson, Bill Cosby, Liza Minnelli, Joan Rivers, Dustin Hoffman, big list, and these are some of the people tonight. And to look around the room and see all the people here that I've been on their show, and they've been on my show. I see Arlene Herson, Dick Ruffman, Arthur Grundig, I see Ingrid Leacock, and Sammy Petrillo, and many more that we've done reciprocals, me on their show, they on my show, and it's kind of a friendly, warm, wonderful feeling. Okay, now, I would like to introduce the first category, and our very special organizer and presenter will be our very own public access manager, Mr. Fritz Gerald. Fritz Gerald. Pleasure.
I'm glad to see we had such a great turnout. It took a lot of work to come up with this little piece of lucite here, but this really represents all of you, and I hope that, well, we'll be worthy of you continuing to support us. I'm not going to beat my gums too much here. We're going to get right on with it. We figured I'd go first so that we break the ice a little bit. The first category is Best News Show, okay? And these are the people that really go into the community and keep their people informed when the larger stations are not doing it. And we have two candidates, or two nominees. The first nominee is Noticias Dominicanas.
So, you know, I think this will be interesting for you to see because, you know, the shows that you watch here when we do these TV watch parties, obviously they're curated by me and they reflect, you know, the kinds of shows that I enjoyed and I recorded. But a lot of public access, you know, were these kinds of shows. So, you know, I'm very unlikely that I have any clips of Noticias Dominicanas in my VHS collection, although who knows, maybe eventually as we keep digitizing, something will come up from Noticias Dominicanas, but unlikely. Anyway, but this will give you an idea of the scope and variety of shows that you would see on public access.
Tributo a los hombres y mujeres quisqueyanos que ponen en alto el nombre de la República Dominicana en Nueva York. Vamos a seguir adelante y recuerda, hermano dominicano, que para los años de 1950-1960, la comunidad dominicana era el modelo de todas las comunidades latinas en la ciudad de Nueva York. Tratemos de emular a nuestros hermanos del pasado, comportándonos como una comunidad progresista y trabajadora.
The next nominee is Santo Domingo al Día.
Señoras y señores, el bloque dominicano de televisión se complace en presentarles su primer noticiario Santo Domingo al Día. ¿Qué tal, amigos de Santo Domingo al Día? Muy buenas noches. Hoy, como de costumbre, con su noticiario Santo Domingo al Día, un programa que se inicia hoy a las 9:30 de la noche. En el día de hoy tenemos muchas noticias importantes, varias entrevistas, el resumen que le prometí de la República Dominicana, cortesía de Colorvisión.
Okay, you might be surprised. Both programs are both in Spanish. Well, we have a heavy Spanish population uptown, and they do quite a bit to serve the Dominican and Spanish community. The envelope, please. I practiced this. I never knew this was so hard. And the winner is, for Best News Program, Noticias Dominicanas. Okay. I see you have a great start. He's probably in the studio right now taping a show, which he does on a daily basis. So in that case, I'll be happy to hold on to it for him, and he can pick it up when he brings in the tape tonight.
Okay, I say we're off to a wonderful start. That was Mr. Fritz Gerald. Back to me, I'm Joe Franklin. I am your host for this very important occasion, and as we said, there are so many notable people in the audience, many notables who couldn't be with us tonight. I just received a telegram from the president of the United Cigar Company, and he wishes he could be here tonight, but he's with us. He's with us in spirit. The next presenter has worked with public access producers for over 6 years with you producers out there. She has listened to probably every story that could ever be told about why a program was not delivered on time. Please welcome Manhattan Cable's own wonderful Wanda Sanchez. Wanda Sanchez.
Yes, Joe. I've heard them all. My favorite line must be, why wasn't my program aired last night? It's the best one on cable. The nominees for that would be Marcus Garvey.
We live today is divided into separate race groups and distinct nationalities. Each race and each nationality is endeavoring to work out its own destiny to the exclusion of other races and other nationalities.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, we are watching the 1988 Public and Leased Access Cable Awards. Yes, this what you're watching here was nominated for one of the best shows on public access. By the way, someone from England, Adam Droid, or in the UK anyway, was saying that, wondering why the UK did not have public access TV. Adam, this was something that was put into the Cable Act in the U.S. Congress when they realized cable was going to become a big force. They wanted to exercise some control over it, at least in kind of making sure that these cable systems were providing for the community, right? Because traditionally our U.S. broadcast stations were working under FCC guidelines, Federal Communication Commission guidelines that would ensure that certain community standards were being met. But when cable came in, it was like, uh-oh, how is the government going to control that? And so there was a Cable Act that dictated some of these things, including public access channels for communities. Okay, let's go back to the Public and Leased Access Awards.
Yesterday meets today.
Leah Scott, your hostess, has been in performing arts for over 20 years as an actress, director, and producer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another very exciting edition of Yesterday Meets Today. This evening, I'm very happy to have back for the second time in a year, Mr. Norman Price and the Dark Side.
And on Broadway.
This special edition of On Broadway will open our eyes to the designs of Desiree Tonique and look at the expressions of this talented designer. I'm Darryl Washington, welcoming you to On Broadway, a look into the world of fashion, a special edition.
Exotic ethnic, definitely. Cotton boucher with multicolored linen pants.
And the winner is Yesterday Meets Today.
I am the most surprised person in this room tonight. First time I've ever won anything. And you notice I goofed on the tape. But I don't know what to say except thank you all at Pure Public Access. Thank all the other producers, all the other wonderful shows I watch, and my producer, Roy. Thank you. Thank you.
It's rare that you see someone in the audience at an award show getting up to take a photo with their camera. By the way, if you look on the right there, that is the legendary Sammy Petrillo, who appeared on 2 Beyond Vaudeville episodes, and he's there with Susie. She also appeared with him on one of his appearances on Beyond Vaudeville. I think at the time, Sammy was doing a public access show of his own very briefly, and I believe he's nominated. So we'll be seeing that soon. Let's go back to the Public and Leased Access Awards.
Somebody just asked me the secret of longevity in my field, in the talk show field, where the mortality rate is so high. There have been 400 talk shows came and went since I began. 400. I told them the secret in my field is sincerity. And once you've learned to fake that, then you got it made. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Wanda. And let me point out that many faces come and many faces go in public access. Here are 2 young men who gave up promising careers in the field of rap. I proudly present Mr. Michael Branch and Mr. Fred McGraw. Mr. Branch and Mr. McGraw.
Years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme, so I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was there, but then it went this way. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme, so I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was there, but then it went this way. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme, so I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was there, but then it went this way. Took a test to become an MC, and Orange Cliff became amazed at me. So Larry put me inside, he got to laugh. The show was drove off, then we never came back. Dave cut the record down to the bone, and now they got me rocking on the microphone. And then we talking autographs, and tears and laughs, and champagne, caviar, and bubble bath. You see, that's the life that I lead, and you sucker MC, and you are pleased to take that and move back, catch a heart attack, because there's nothing in the world that run no level like a cold chillax, a party hold chillax, a party in the b-boy stand, and rock on the mic and make the girls wanna dance, fly like a dove and cup 'em up above. I'm rocking on the mic and you can call me Run Love. Fly like a dove and cup 'em up above. I'm rocking on the mic and you can call me Run Love. Fly like a dove and cup 'em up above. I'm rocking on the mic and you can call me Run Love. The whitest part of town, trying to rap, but you can't get down. You don't even know your English, your verb or noun. You're just a sucker MC. You're sad face practice to be a C, and if you're ready.
By the way, those guys and the cameraman, Mitch, they were all in the first studio that we worked in with all the early shows of Beyond Vaudeville. They were really nice people. There was a really nice vibe, but unfortunately, they shut down this studio, so we couldn't keep recording there. But it was a really great environment that we got to do those first shows in maybe the first 2 years or so. Go back.
And we'd like to thank you for those awards right here.
Thank you.
We're here for the next category, which is the best musical variety.
Okay, nominees are Cable Magazine,
Hello, my name is Ingrid, and welcome to Cable Magazine, and this is what we call the Best of 1986. And tonight I'd like to present about 7 of our pieces from bands that appeared on the program during 1986.
international music video.
On today's program, when we say we take you traveling around the world of music, we literally mean it. Today's program, you're going to Brazil, the health spas of Switzerland, Germany, Canada, and we're going to end up in South Africa, but with a British twist.
And yesterday meets today. Hold on. All right, here we go.
And the winner is?
And the winner is Cable Magazine.
I guess I should say something.
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the studio from which we work, which is ELA Studio, and that's why we're able to present all of that. And also, I'm very glad to see our friend Joe Franklin up there, because he did tell me that was the secret of success, sincerity, and I've been trying, Joe. Thank you very much. I know there are some very good shows on the air, and we're very, very grateful to you. And I shall always treasure this, and thanks to Hector Martinez for helping me.
I told Ingrid when I was on her show, she asked me who was my first, I had 138,000 guests, 138,000, and she asked me my first guest ever. My first guest ever was Eddie Cantor, and Eddie Cantor said to me, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And you're a nice audience, and we're having a nice time here tonight. One of the, I would say not one of the, but public access's pride and joy, and that represents both uptown and downtown, is a very dedicated and concerned employee. As a matter of fact, this wonderful person single-handedly operates Channel J for Manhattan Cable. Let's welcome her now. Her name is Miss Vicki Garner. Vicki Garner.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening. I'm Vicki Garner. Channel J is public access one step further. The unique service affords many producers the capabilities to include commercials in their programs. The nominees for the Best Religious Show are...
So, by the way, here's an award going to shows on Channel J. But do we see Midnight Blue that we saw earlier? Do we see Robin Bird? Do we see Ugly George? Do we see Men in Films? Do we see Interludes After Midnight? No, we see these shows that are now nominated for awards on the leased access system, where the cable company was looking to, still get some normal shows, in other words, non-sexual shows on their leased access. By the way, I just want to say in chat, Skyscraper Television, hello, great to have you back here. It's asking, would I have to lug my own gear for the Beyond Vaudeville sets? Absolutely. We just had a blank room. Sometimes there would be set pieces that we could grab. Obviously, the couches from the waiting area and anything else we could find. But yes, it was lots of bags of stuff that just had all that stuff that you'd see on the wall. That's why you see so many posters, because it was easy for us to transport those and put them up quickly. Okay, here, Amanda Luss saying, oh boy, I bet Al Goldstein put them on his FU list. Yes, I bet, Amanda. I think it was hard not to be on Al Goldstein's FU list. It didn't take much to get on one. Okay, here we go back to the 1988 public and Leased Access Awards. Oh, by the way, I just want to thank everyone who has been participating so far in the Super Chat. Christopher Romas, Heroin Mom, Chris Henderson, Rick Cutler, Toto Payne Diaz, and Dirk Vandenberg. Thank you for your contributions that go toward the digitizing of all these many old tapes. Okay, here we go. Back to the Public and Leased Access Awards.
Joy and Hope.
Have you ever seen the sign, when we die, the one who has the most things is the winner? Is the winner? What actually does one win?
Luz para nuestro tiempo.
Una luz para nuestro tiempo. Cristo dijo, yo soy la luz, el camino y la vida.
Bienvenidos, amigos televidentes, a una nueva presentación del programa Luz para nuestro tiempo.
And the world tomorrow.
This week on The World Tomorrow, David Hume.
Today, there's an explosion of interest in the occult and a fascination with the underworld of goblins, ghouls, ghosts, and demons.
And the winner is Joy and Hope.
Father Joe Baker, the co-producer, is the author and the designer of the concept of the show, so it is to him that most of the credit goes. But to the people at Telecare, the studio where we produced, was certainly an act of gratitude goes out to them, and of course to the people at Paragon who have made all of this possible. We extend our sincere thanks. Thank you very much.
Oh, the irony that a Monsignor got the award for Channel J based on everything we were looking at earlier from Channel J. I'm sure this was an effort by the cable system to try to steer things more toward the Monsignor and away from the filth that was filling most of Channel J's lineup. Okay, let's go back and see some more of the Public and Leased Access Awards. Beyond Vaudeville has an award category coming up, so stay tuned.
Okay, Vicky Garner is garnering a lot of attention for Channel J, and that's a marvelous rundown on religious programming, which is so important. In case you've just tuned in, you're watching the Paragon Cable Manhattan's PAL Awards, the beginning of an annual ceremony. We're being seen, of course, from coast to coast. My program, people always ask me, how come I don't plug my show? I'll give myself a little plug. I'm on every night in prime time, 1 o'clock in the morning. And thank you. And if you watch me tonight, I'm going to mention everybody's name in this room, so please be watching. Everybody's name. Neil Hecker, former access manager at this station, could not be with us tonight. We've got with us as a very marvelous substitute, Mr. Donald Williams of the Dance Theater of Harlem, to present the award for the best gospel show, presenting Mr. Donald Williams.
Look who we have there on the left. First shot of David Green. It looks like we had very poor placement in this studio, or maybe they were trying to keep the cameras off the Beyond Vaudeville gang at this point. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The nominees for the Best Gospel are Dynamic Disciples, Next nominee, Opening Night.
My name is Bob LaPrince. Welcome once again to Opening Night, where we celebrate art in its finest form.
Sometimes I feel just like a motherless child.
And Uptown Gospel, finally.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Uptown Gospel Show, and for those of you that might be tuning us in for the first time, we want you to know that this program is designed to bring into your homes talented personalities from the gospel arena.
My king, the king. I know you never take. My Lord King, the God that His praises we will bring.
The envelope, please. Thank you. I've always wondered how this felt. And the winner is Uptown Gospel.
I accept this award on behalf of our Willie Stoops, who produces the show, and I'll make sure he gets this first thing in the morning.
Okay, that's Mr. Williams. He is an elegant man and a good presenter, and you're a good audience. It just occurs to me about the audience. Every time they shoot the audience, you're such a beautiful and handsome audience. Every time I see the audience, I get such a tingle. So maybe I'll try like 30 seconds of trivia so we can show this audience. Help me finish this little slogan now. We're going to do a little bit of nostalgia. Swing and sway with Sammy Kaye. You're great. I'll try a tough one. Whose theme song was Racing with the Moon? Vaughn Monroe. Whose theme song was When the Moon Comes Over the Mountain? Kate Smith. You're fantastic. Whose theme song was If I Didn't Care? How about Charles Ward of the Ink Spots taking a bow? Charles Ward of the Ink Spots. So many good friends here tonight. A man who wrote some songs for me. How about one round of applause for Mr. Rick Stryker, a marvelous composer, Rick Stryker.
There's Rick Stryker, who was there as our guest, and seated right next to Bub. And let's keep going.
Everybody in this room I'm serious now, is a celebrity and a star. And our next presenter, a star who once managed the public access department, but is now an independent producer himself. A sheer delight to welcome Mr. Andy Shear. Andy Shear.
Thank you, Joe. Well, this is definitely a trip down memory lane coming back here, and it's good to see everybody that I know and don't know. So, hello. I'd like to say a special hello to the crew. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I hope you remember all the things I taught you, Mike. That fuzzy focus shot. Have you got that one down? And the foot shot, I think that was another one we worked on creatively for a while. The category I'm here to talk about is Best Talk. And the nominees are Let's Talk About It.
I want to say how delighted I am to have as our special guest Mr. Scott L. Folks. Not only because I remember Mr. Folks as a youngster growing up in Long Branch, New Jersey, but because he has actually gone on to do so many really positive and really inspiring things, and I'm very proud of him, okay, as your senior. Let's talk a bit about the past. What experience or experiences stand out most in your mind about the years growing up in Long Branch, New Jersey?
Well, I'd have to say that there's not any one experience that I can draw upon, but thinking back, it's the upbringing that my grandmother and mother provided in raising me and telling me that you can do anything that you set your mind to.
Arlene Herson.
We're joined now at this fabulous party at Maxine's by none other than the lifestyles of the rich and famous Robin Leach. Welcome.
Hi, Arlene.
When I say the lifestyles of the rich and famous, you really took something and made it into a whole lifestyle. However, it's not a lifestyle you were born into, but it's something if anybody looks like they're having a fabulous time, it's you.
Well, I think, you know, the magic of television dictates that people have got to have a good time watching it, so it better look as if I'm having a good time doing it.
Meet your health professional.
Dr. Dale, thank you for joining us today.
It's good to be here.
Could you tell me, in discussing the way our looks affect the way we feel and so forth, there's a great deal coming about, as I understand, in dentistry lately. Could you tell me what's the latest in cosmetic dentistry?
Well, we've all been very excited about some of the newer innovations, such as bonding to restore fractured teeth, discolored teeth, teeth with stains, porcelain laminates. But the most exciting thing that we're now doing is called bleaching.
Okay, and the winner is... Just give me a second here. This was bonded shut. And the winner is Arlene Herson.
Thank you. I have to say thank you very much. Cable has been good to a lot of people. It certainly has been good to me. If it wasn't for cable television, I wouldn't have the incredible job I have and meet the fascinating people I do, like you saw Robin Leach and Joe Franklin, and I wouldn't have won this award. So thank you very much.
Arlene Herson, had she not had her own public access show, she would not have met Joe Franklin and Robin Leach. Yes, there you have it. This is really a weird thing. The guy who presented that award, Andy Shear, I had no recollection of having met Andy when we worked together years later. Okay, this is 1988 that this was recorded. And then in 2008, I had the privilege of working on a really fun show called I Survived a Japanese Game Show for ABC, and actually spent 3 months in Tokyo for season 1, and then another 3 months in Tokyo for season 2. We were shooting at Toho Studios, where they did the Godzilla movies. It was just an awesome, awesome experience. And one of the producers that I worked with on the show was this guy, Andy Shear. So fast forward to recently, when this old VHS tape got digitized, and lo and behold, there's Andy Shear, and I couldn't believe it. I just called Andy and sent him like a video and said, "You're not going to believe this, but I have a recording of you from 1988 presenting award. I'm in the studio." And neither of us, obviously made the connection when we met and worked together again in 2008. So anyway, that's just an aside. Let's continue here with the 1988 Public and Leased Access Awards.
Arlene's success is also a tribute to hard work. She works on that show around the clock. You just can't walk into the studio. You've got to really prepare it and do your homework, and she's a good lady. And watching that dentist reminded me, if I could just give you 30 seconds, I got a letter. You might have heard me say this on my own show. I got a letter from a lady about a month ago. She says, "Dear Joe, I watch you every night. I need your guidance. I'm engaged to marry a man. And should I tell my fiance before or after the wedding that I've got false teeth?" And I couldn't help it. I answered her right on TV. I said, "Lady, my advice is get married and keep your mouth shut." That's one of the few times. That's one of the few times I gave any advice on television. Anyhow, congratulations to Arlene, and Mr. Scheer is a marvelous producer himself. Many of you producers are familiar with our next presenter, and many of our viewers are as well. She's not only one of the lovely co-hosts of the fitness program Heavenly Body, but she's also a reporter for Paragon's Community Line. She's the public access coordinator, Miss Oneida Coward. Oneida Coward, a wonderful, wonderful lady.
Good evening. I just want to express how sincerely happy I am that everyone has come out this evening. I mean, let's face it, this is something that is long and well deserved for everyone. The nominees in the category for Best Informational Show are The Advocate's Report,
to all people with disabilities to share in a big part of America's heritage, to showcase the results of 4 years of hard work and the determination of hundreds of men and women from 2 countries, the United States and France. Today, people with disabilities have access to the ferry. New grading, which are on today, allows visitors to move easily about Liberty Island.
Today on The World Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about stress, how it affects us, and what we can do about it. To begin, let's take a brief look at the lives of some people who are currently living with stress. Ron is a 32-year-old salesman. He's hardworking, recently divorced, and often alone. He's on the road a lot and puts between 50 and 70,000 miles on his car every year.
and all about us.
On the subject of positive black businesses on the move, I'd like to welcome Roy Hassick, CEO, Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Welcome, Roy, to All About Us.
Thank you very much, Carl. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me, and it's an excellent opportunity to talk about the Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
And alas, the envelope. The winner is... Okay. The Advocate's Report. I'm sorry to say they're not here this evening, but we'll hold this for them. They'll come sooner or later. Thank you.
Okay, we congratulate the invisible winner. I want to thank Ms. Coward of Paragon for inviting me to be the MC here tonight. I want to thank the management of WWOR-TV for giving me the okay. I'd like to introduce, if I can, one of the first ladies of journalism, a lady who always writes about public access. She believes in it, and she manages and edits and publishes many, many magazines. Miss Ann Charles. Ann Charles, stand up and take a bow. She's one of the ladies who really believes in public access, as do I. It gives me great pleasure to present the award for the best show on location. And the presenter is none other than the wonderful Paragon manager of community programming, Mr. Jim Carney. Jim Carney.
And dissolve camera 5. Hello, everybody. As you can see, I'm coming to you from here up in the control room on location. And I think it's a particularly important award because doing shows on location is very difficult, and it's a very high honor for these people who are able to do that. So right now I'd like to announce the nominees. If we can roll tape, please, and dissolve. Seniors Helping Seniors.
And the I would say, 5 years ago, it was very hard for a senior to open the door to a younger person. When I say a younger person, a teen. They were frightened. But the teens are teaming up with the seniors.
Tend to Offend.
Tend to Offend, real headbanger. Oh yeah, my cross-personal friends, Boy Vibe. Hot video, and it's gonna be a hot New York City Tend to Offend summer for everybody. Yeah.
Sabor Boricano. And dissolve back to 5. Okay, as you can see, we have quite a mix of nominees there. The envelope, please, for my assistant director. I've never done this before. And the winner is ready. Camera 3. Seniors Helping Seniors, dissolve to 3.
By the way, there's Jerry King to the left there. Boy, Tend to Offend had it tough. They had to go up against Seniors Helping Seniors. What a strange category. We're running a little long here, but I'm just going to keep going because we got to get to Beyond Vaudeville here on these awards. I want to thank everyone who has been participating in the Super Chat. Let's see, that's Christopher Romas, Heroin Mom, Chris Henderson, Rick Cutler, Toto Payne Diaz, and Dirk Vandenberg. I'm going to try not to talk too much here so we can keep getting through these and not go all night.
Thank you. And this is an award for many quite elderly volunteers for doing more than their share to keep your grandparents and your, great-grandparents going. Thank you.
Congratulations to a wonderful lady, and we again thank Paragon's on-location manager, Jim Carney. We saw him on location in his control room. We're honoring cable television's dedicated independent producers, the first award show of its kind, and certainly not the last. Our next presenter, ladies and gentlemen, takes a special interest in community events, community programs. You can rest assured anytime there's a good cause, there will be the wonderful Paragon producer, Cheryl Johnson. Cheryl Johnson.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see all of you out here. The Public Access Department is very important to us because it really reflects the community. We can only cover but so many events and community programming, and public access producers are always there covering everything that we don't get to. They're there before us, after us, and with us. Right now, I'd like to present the nominees for the most original show. And the first is The Singing Salesman.
My gift-giving treasure hunt is going to take us right now to Midtown, where I discovered the grandest of dames. Boy, is she wonderful. I've got dinner for two for this lady walking up the street. And it's going to be at the Wine and Apples restaurant. Yes. Oh, excuse me, miss. I'm from the Singing Salesman Show. My name's Marty Eccles. I've got dinner for two. You can have dinner at the Wine and Apples restaurant. What is your name?
Is it for nothing?
It's for nothing. You don't have to do anything. Positive.
The Beyond Vaudeville program.
Alois, you have the greatest laugh, and people know and love you. And
you know, I'm going to tell you something. There's got to be a telethon that fits him, you know. Well, because it's amazing what they do with chemistry.
And Joy and Hope.
Have you ever seen the sign, when we die, the one who has the most things is the winner? Is the winner? What actually does one win?
Well, after that discussion of the winner, let's see who the winner is. The winner for a most original show is Beyond Vaudeville.
okay. Thank you, and thank everyone for choosing us for the Beyond Vaudeville program. Frank Hope, this is my co-host, Dave, and we want to thank our producers, Kathy Kickert, Steve Korn, Rich Brown, and I want to thank everyone here, and especially Joe Franklin. Let's say hi to Joe. Dave, come on.
Pleasure.
I think it's a little sick to get an award for this
All right,
show.
no, all right. We're gonna show this on our show every time, and after later tonight, because we won, we're gonna have Fluffernutter party at my house.
Now, let me tell you, that's the kind of a show, it's kind of a show not only closed theaters, it closed cities. No. No, they are fantastic. Beyond Vaudeville. Okay, moving right along, as they say in TV, the producer is the vital instrument in every production. Clarence Greer has joined us from Manhattan Cable to present the Best Producer Award. The award, Clarence,
hello, I'm
Best Producer.
Yes, thank you. I'm here to give the award for Best Producer, and as someone who's had a long association with public access and public access producers, I just want to say that you can only give one award, and I'd like to commend all of you for the hard work I know you do week in and week out to put your programs on, so I do want to commend you. Okay, Best Producer, Each One Teach One, Bob McKellogg, producer. McCullough, that is.
Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Hi, welcome to the Each One Teach One show. Tonight, my special guest is Mr. Hanif Shabazz. He's a consultant for the Harlem Third World Cinema Institute. Hanif, welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure, and I'm just so honored to be here this evening, and I do agree with your whole logo, Each One Teach One, and I'm just very honored once again to be here.
Well, thank you.
People to People, Sinclair Clement, producer.
I'm going to ask you a question. What does the names Jeffrey Banks, Giorgio Imani, Robert Comstock, Bill Robinson, Kenneth Cole, Calvin Klein, and Tony Randall have in common? You don't have to guess, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is Barbara Jo Howard, who happens to be the co-chairman of the Cuddy Sock Menswear Awards on their 8th annual presentation at the Men's Fashion Association. And she's here to my left, and this is the common bond.
Opening night, Bob LaPrince, producer.
My name is Bob LaPrince. Welcome to Opening Night. My special guest this evening is Miss Gaspic Greeley, along with Bill Parker and his fabulous seniors, and the wonderful group Masterpiece. Without any further ado, let us take you back to Masterpiece.
And there's Sammy Petrillo again, right in the front there with Susie. I'm hoping to at least get to his award, which I'm hopefully will be next. So let's keep watching here.
And the winner in the Best Producer category is Opening Night, Bob LaPrince.
Well, I thought they were getting mighty close to the end, and I said, well, I'll save the speech till the next time, but I thank you very much. And I'm particularly glad to thank friends of mine that were here a couple of years ago when we started, including Fred and Mike, Anita, Evelyn, Mike, Ron, Mitch, and Fritz, and all those people who made this program possible, and particularly to the minority artists who made Opening Night possible, and to all of the producers who try with little or no money to keep the picture going and to keep hope eternal.
Okay, in case you just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen at home, you're watching the Paragon Cable Manhattan's PAL Awards. I'm Joe Franklin. I'm your host for the evening. Somebody asked me if I was really Billy Crystal. You ever see Billy Crystal do the takeoff on me? I finally got to see the tape of Billy Crystal, because I'm on the radio when Billy Crystal is on doing the takeoff on Saturday Night Live, you know. But I finally got to see the tape, and when I saw it, you know what I said? I said, one of us is lousy. I'm not saying which one. And what we're doing tonight, I mentioned how Ann Charles is reviewing tonight's event for her magazines, and there are many other distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press covering this event tonight, this wonderful ceremony, and I think we ought to mention, it's okay, I want to dedicate tonight's show to the man who invented TV, and I happen to know that he's at home watching now in his apartment in New York. How about one round of applause for Milton Berle, who's watching tonight, okay? Milton Berle invented the whole procedure, and I told you he's watching. I just want to say, Milton, may you live to be as old as your jokes. And that wishes him, that guarantees him a long life. Now for the best host. That's a subject I might know a little bit about, I guess. The host should be well-versed in his area of interviewing. He should be able to make the guests feel comfortable in sometimes new surroundings. And presenting this award for the best talk show host on cable is a fine TV executive, an excellent manager of programs, Mr. Josh Kaplan. Mr. Josh Kaplan.
just want to take a moment to really send out my thanks to Fritz. I think the best thing I've done probably in my 10 years or so of television was to bring Fritz back here from ABC. Anyway, on with the business. The nominees for Best Host are Sammy Petrillo for Ask a Lawyer.
Joe, I'd like to ask you, if you were to ask a lawyer a question right now, what question might you ask him?
Spontaneously, off the cuff?
Just right off the top of your head.
Unrehearsed? Okay, I've got a good one. What should a person do immediately following an accident?
Very good question. Let's see how our lawyers answer that one.
Arthur Grundig for the Arthur Grundig Variety Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arthur Grundig Variety Show, Jerry King. And tonight we have as our guest, I think maybe she's one of the only woman drummer in Shirley Barron. Here she is in all her glory.
Ronalda Higgins for Voices and Choices.
Good evening and welcome to Voices and Choices. My name is Ronalda Higgins. I'm Director of Public Affairs at North General Hospital. And tonight again, Voices and Choices brings to you people whose voices are being heard and whose choices are making an impact on our lives.
These awards were so strange. I don't know why Voices and Choices is up against Arthur Grundig and Sammy Petrillo. It's so, I mean, how do you choose between Arthur Grundig, public access, legendary host, and Sammy Petrillo, star of Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla and Burlesque and Doris Wishman movies. Anyway, let's see who won the category.
And there is Arthur Grundig.
Thank you very much. And my show is a tribute to Jerry King, one of the world's greatest piano players. I only had $100 million, all right? Thank you very much, and God bless everybody. May all live to be 200. And Joe went down to Gimbel's the other day for a job, you know. He went for a screen test, right? And he starts selling screens in Macy's window next week. That's Joe. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's Arthur Grundig. Arthur Grundig. I want to thank Arthur and my dear friend Dick Rothman and Sammy Petrillo for keeping nostalgia alive. And these are good people, and we are all sentimentalists. Now, on a very sentimental and really sad note, but as upbeat as we can make it, on Tuesday, January 12th, 1988, a few days ago, public access lost one of its most energetic and colorful personalities. But with us tonight in spirit, this recording artist, performer, songwriter, achieved citywide stardom at a very, very young age. She used her own program to showcase young, talented individuals, and she was the most talented. Accepting this posthumous award is her father and producer, Mr. Oliver Richardson. Mr. Oliver Richardson.
You to do, and that's enjoy yourself with the world's top rapper. This place is gonna jump a whole lot faster. I hope you have on your dancing shoes, so when you leave this place, it won't be with the blues. So find a friend and grab a hoe and listen to the girl who's 24 karat gold. 24 karat gold, 24 karat gold, 24 karat gold. Listen to what you have to say. 24 karat gold, 24 karat gold. Listen to what she has to say. Just look around today, people can't control the way they treat their minds, bodies, and their souls. There are only a few who have a positive force, and the other half of them are just totally lost. So check it out now. Do you hear what I'm saying? And if you do or don't, either way, start praying for the bad to turn good and hate turn to love. The one who can help is the man up above. Take this advice. It's not much of a load from the girl on the mic. It's 24 karat gold.
Although my daughter Goldie's life was terminated in a comparatively short span, thanks to public access, which aired her popular Goldie's Hot Rap show, she still had her chance to make a sizable contribution to her community and to receive recognition from her peers and many of their parents. As a result, she had her days in the sun, and she felt the initial flushes of success, which gave her much happiness. In behalf of Goldie, myself, and her many fans, thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I just assure Mr. Richardson that as long as there's a television screen, whether it's public access or non-public access, any kind of TV, your daughter will be remembered and honored. TV from now on will be a tribute to Goldie, a beautiful, wonderful lady. Goldie. I think our ceremony is nearing conclusion. I'd like to maybe introduce everybody in the room as a star or a near superstar. I want to introduce one young lady. I've had the privilege of being invited to be on a show, and I'm going to make it one day soon. One of the few singers, and this is a fact, who can single-handedly pack Alice Tully Hall, Carnegie Recital Hall, a huge following, beautiful lady, been my anchor lady on my TV show many times, Miss Vera Alec. Vera Alec, would Vera take a bow? Beautiful, beautiful lady. One more pretty lady, because, you know, pretty ladies, they told me when I broke into TV, light up a screen and glamorize it, and you never go wrong with a pretty lady. Sammy Petrillo's partner, Miss Susie. Susie, take a bow, Susie. One bow. I believe the ceremonies and the awards and the happiness is just about concluded. I'd like to ask Mr. Fritz, Gerald, if Fritz is here, to get up here and summarize, and things have concretized and crystallized and come together, and now comes a beautiful word or two in parting from a beautiful man who made tonight greatly possible.
I think that just about wraps it up, except for the final award. Now, they just keep coming out of the woodwork. I don't know. It was in the budget. We said, let's spend it up. The last award goes to a person who really, without his appearance, let me put it this way. Public access producers have a lot of heroes, but there's one name, one man that stands head and shoulders above the rest. And without him, I don't think this could have gone over as well as it did. And I think you have an idea of whom I'm talking. Mr. Joe Franklin.
No, I just want to say, I have received many plaques, many trophies, but I want to tell you in all honesty that this is the most recent. No, I mean that. No, somebody asked me, how's business? Somebody asked me, my good friend Dick Ruffin asked me, how's business? I told him plaques and trophies were ahead 20% this year. And meetings were ahead 30%. But this is one, Fritz, that I will honor and cherish. My guest was Georgie Jessel, who said to me, may you live as long as you want, and may you never want as long as you live. And that goes to all you beautiful people. Thank you, and I love you. Invite me back. Thank you.
So as we go off the air, I'd like to call up the Public Access family. That does conclude the award ceremony for tonight. Hopefully, in the coming years, we'll stretch it out and do like the other big award shows and go over, and you know, everybody stays so late and goes to sleep on the air and everything like that. But I'd like to bring up Evelyn Onifray, the TD, and Onita Coward, my Public Access coordinator, and Sherry Harris, who's interning with us. Come on up, Sherry. I wish I could get a shot of Mitch Levinson behind the camera there. I don't know if that's possible, and Mike Murray on the other camera, but these are the two cameramen that make access possible uptown. So we'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Have a good night.
Well, there you have it. They talked about future PAL awards, and there never was. That Paragon Cable used to run the upper northern got absorbed all by Time Warner, and so that whole gang was gone. And yeah, it was a really fun community, and I think there was some mention there in the chat about Goldie. I don't remember seeing that show, only at those awards, but it did look pretty amazing, her show. There's something really special about those 80s rap numbers anytime they pop up. Whether it's Goldie or DJ the Messenger, who we saw earlier, or just anytime they show up on these public access shows, it'd be fun to see entire episodes of those Goldie's Hot Rap shows that we just saw a glimpse of. I want to thank everyone who participated in the super chat. Sheriff Brackett just contributed. Thank you, Sheriff Brackett, as well as Christopher Romas, Heroin Mom, Chris Henderson, Rick Cutler, Toto Payne Diaz, and Dirk Vandenberg. I want to thank all of you for doing that tonight. I want to thank all of you who have joined us here tonight watching. We've run a little long, but we saw a lot of stuff. We saw the Leased Access Channel J stuff, and we saw some more of the legendary Frank Masi and his Stairway to Stardom show. And we just saw the 1988 Public and Leased Access Awards. Josh Chase is saying in chat, just received his Beyond Vaudeville shirt. I'll wear it up to my work in Alaska this summer and take a picture wearing it in the Arctic Ocean. Wow, Josh, that's awesome. And you can get your t-shirt as well, just like this, and other shirts and things that are available at the Beyond Vaudeville shop at Etsy.com. So check that out if you haven't already. And I wonder if, Josh, you're going to be working on a fishing boat or something else. Yeah, so we'll see what else we've got in store in the weeks ahead, but there's always more to digitize and share with you. Appreciate everybody coming here tonight, and thanks. We'll see you soon, and have a great evening or day for all of you in the UK that were checking in here. Wherever you are in the world, have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.